Update successful. Okay, so I'll just make sure the audio is still working. Update success. There we go, it is still working. So what I'm doing is I'm using something called Lightstream, which is a Chrome extension. I mean, how crazy is that you can stream with a Chrome extension? So kudos to the Lightstream team. It's just not quite ready for prime time yet, but I do want to try it out because I just love the idea of being able to stream from my Chrome OS device. So I've got here I'm on my Chrome box. I can't seem to get the camera working. That's something I've been talking to support about at Lightstream. They're very helpful on support. Still not got it working yet on this particular Chrome device, but I've got my Pixelbook where the camera was working. It was a built-in camera though, so maybe it's a USB thing. Anyway, what I thought I would do is to test this out. This is going out at 720p, 30 frames per second. 720p is the highest resolution that Lightstream will allow folks to stream at the moment. I think they're working on higher resolution encoding. But what I thought I would do is, let me just, in fact, let me minimize that. So I'm not sort of encoding, it's not encoding itself, and bring in a new window where we go to github.com, because what I want to do is some work related to the CAP community. There was an issue assigned to me. Assigned, here we go, assigned. In the CAP community repo. And that issue was the add calculated fields example to the examples directory, please, from Volker. So I thought I would try that and see how it goes. This is a freshly installed Chrome OS device. I've got the Linux container up and running, or I've created it rather, and I've got a bit of basic Vim configuration. Let me just create a terminal. And while that, of course, was the first time you actually ask for a terminal, it takes a few seconds to actually start up the VM. So there's the VM started, there's my terminal, and as you can see, I've got a little bit of stuff in here. Now, I have been messing around with, and this is what I'll be going to be using, I've been messing around with this wonderful extension for Chrome OS called Tiling Window Manager for Chrome OS. And that gives me the ability to do some tiling. And I've done a little review of it or a little video, but I've also made a modification that allows me to sort of live, on the fly, change the size of the gaps, change the margins in between the different windows here. So, and in order to do that, what I've had to do is to create a copy of the code, Chrome tile, and this is a private repo for now, but create a copy of the code. All the awesomeness is from the original author. Of course, all I've done is made some small modifications. I've added another function and another couple of commands and key bindings so that I can, increase and decrease the size of the margins. In order to use this at the moment, this is actually just a, if I look at Rainbow Chrome, there we go. I've got that actually installed, or that GitHub repo cloned locally here. So what I need to do is to go to Chrome extensions, and I've got developer mode turned on already. I'll just load this unpacked extension directly from here, that folder there. So now I've got this tiling window manager, and I can now set the options. I think I've already got the options set. There we go. Yeah, the options in terms of keyboard shortcuts, I've already got set. And as you can see, the tiling window manager has kicked in, And it means that I can, for example, if I create a new browser window, it'll tile there, and so on, so which is great. And the extension that I've created, or the modification to the extension that I've created, will allow me to increase the size of margins and decrease them because it looks nice. So there we go. Anyway, what I thought I would do is go to this issue and try and resolve it. So the calculated fields example was an example I put together in a blog post finally as a response to a question from Pierre Dominique. So let me just go to where was it? Let me look for myself here. There we go. So my content here, my blog posts, it was down here somewhere. computedField. That's why I didn't find it. It's called computedField. This was a question from Pierre that was, how do I have a computed field in my service? This blog post here is all about that. It was a long answer, and it's really weird doing an impromptu broadcast. I don't know whether anybody. Well, I mean, it says there's 2 viewers, so hello. Please say hi if you can hear me. Yeah, odd. Maybe I'll actually. Yeah, why not? In fact, let me go to. In fact, I'll have that as a separate window. And folks, I'm live on Twitch right now doing an impromptu test live stream using Lightstream. Is it called Lightstream? On my Chromebox. Come and join us. I'm working on an issue that Bobu assigned to me in the CAP Community repo. And we'll put the hands on SAP dev hashtag. And yeah, I guess that's it. Okay, there we go. Oh, I better put where it is. So join us on Twitch in the usual place, i.e. twitch.tv qmacro 99. Okay, let's see if anybody comes along. We've got 3 viewers. So welcome. So what I want to do is add this computed field example to the CAP Community repo. So the CAP Community repo, it has all sorts of goodness in there. It's still very young. It's got lots of links to resources and so on. And we have this examples directory where we've got some simple examples. So there's a media handling one, which is a work in progress from what Gregor and co were doing, I think, on the live stream on their sort of mob programming session they did earlier this week. And there's also another example here, a deep insert example, which I put in there to show how you do deep inserts. And also it talks about, or uses rather, compositions. Let me make that a little bit bigger. It uses compositions, okay, which is quite interesting. So the result of what I want to achieve is going to be a new directory in here. Shall we call it calculated field or computed field? With an example, and the example I do have here anyway. So it'll be a question of working through that. So the first question is, well, how do I get that in there? Now, this is a repo that I've already forked as you can see here, you've already forked CAP Community to CAP Community in QMacro. So this is where I am there. I think if I have a look here, where are we? Yes, the way I've decided to organize my clones of repos is to put them in folders that actually reflect where they are, because of course we have also an internal enterprise GitHub at SAP, which is awesome. Not so awesome that it's on the VPN. You have to connect via VPN to get to it. But anyway, I've got my stuff here, and in here I've got nothing. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll clone this forked repo, and I'll take you through first of all how I keep a forked repo up to date with the source of that fork. First of all, I'll get my fork up to date, and then I'll start adding the stuff. So if I clone that, I'm going to use SSH because I'm using two-factor authentication now on github.com, which means that it's a little bit of a pain to authenticate using HTTPS, especially from the command line. But if you use SSH, which is of course secure shell, you can do that using your public-private SSH key pair, which I've set up. And I've got SSH agent. Oh, have I got SSH agent? I'm not sure actually. We'll have a look in a minute. Anyway, git clone. Let's copy that and put that in there. CAP Community. There we go. Yes. So there's the examples folder, and of course, as you can see here, I've only got the deep insert in the examples folder right now. And we got the issues, and we got the license and the Readme there. Okay, so that's great. Let's go into that CAP Community. Now, this is the source of this clone, and so QMacro CAP Community, and it's been forked from SAP Mentors CAP Community. So what I want to do is add the SAP Mentors CAP Community source as an upstream source. So if I say git remote verbose, it'll show me that the origin of this particular repo here locally on my machine, or on the VM on my machine, the origin is where we just pulled it from, QMacro CAP Community. So I want to git remote add, and we want traditionally, conventionally, you would call the source of a fork upstream. So that, rather than origin, which is the actual fork source, the source of that is called upstream. And we'll add that there. So now when we do a remote -v, we have a couple of pairs. We've got the origin pair and the upstream pair. Now, just grab some water over here. What we want to do now, because as you can see here, where is it? It says here, this branch is 8 commits behind, there we go, behind SAP Mentors master. So the first thing I want to do in order to get this up to date is to fetch all the stuff from upstream. So we'll do a git fetch upstream. Okay, so we've now fetched that stuff, and all we need to do is, well, we should be on master anyway. Git checkout master. Yes, we're already on master. Git branch. There's only master anyway. Yeah, okay. And I like doing all this from the command line. Just do it in the raw, so you know what's going on. So what we want to do now is, of course, merge that stuff that's come from that I brought in from the upstream into my local repo here. So git merge upstream master. And as you can see there, what's happened is that it's brought in that deep insert stuff that we didn't have, and so on. So let's have a look at the status. Just make it a little bit bigger, I guess. By the way, folks, thank you for joining. I can see there's some viewers here now. Let me know in the comments what the quality is like of the stream. As I said earlier in this live stream, I mentioned that I'm using this Lightstream streaming extension on Chrome OS, on Chrome. It's crazy, amazing. But it only allows me to do 720p, and I've chosen 30 frames per second, which should be okay because I'm not playing a game. Now, anyway, yeah, let me know what the quality looks like. So, have I got, is that a different stream chat? 1 second, what's going on? There's the Lightstream there. Okay, no, that's fine. Let's minimize that again. Yeah, okay. So now what we want to do is git push to the origin. Let's see what happens. Okay, perfect. That seemed to work. Now, we are on QMacro CAP Community on this browser page. So if I refresh that now, hopefully, there we go. This branches even with SAP Mentors Master. So now we're in a comfortable position in which to start working. So that's the way I keep my forked repos up to date with the original, which you, I'm sure, may want to do. If you're also taking part in sort of working together, collaborating in this CAP community repo. Okay, so what do we want to do? Let's get down to business. ComputeDField example in CAP, and this is complete. By the way, this is completely unplanned, and I'm using all new software. So let's see how it goes. So what we want to do in here is in the examples directory. Why don't we create a directory called? Well, in fact, why don't we create a new? I think the way that I did it was that, yes, there we go. The deep insert directory itself, I think I'd created with a CDS in it. Okay, so let's do that. I've installed CDS, and I've got the 3.18.3 CDS in it. And let's call it, what can we call it? computedField. There we go. Okay, that should be okay. What I've also done is brought in my Vim configuration, which has a number of plugin references, and I've put that together. So hopefully we should have a usable editor. I've also brought in the Vim CDS, my Vim CDS project, which is the plugin that allows me to make use of the language server protocol stuff, which is part of the VS Code extension for CDS. Cool. Okay, so let's go into there and have a look what we've got. Exactly the same sort of thing. We've got the data model, and there we go. It looks like that. And as you can see here, I've got that Vim CDS plugin because hopefully, there we go. Yeah, it will use the LSP, talk to the CDS compiler, work out what's wrong, and then tell me, which is great. Okay. So this is really what we want to do. In fact, I shouldn't really be using the mouse, should I? Let's just go back here and let's go across to here. I'm using Vimium, so we have to scroll up and down. But anyway, we've got, in fact, I better show the mouse to show what we're doing here. Here's the basic schema. So I know that what I did was I just put together something very, very basic, which is books and authors. So why don't we just go and do that? We don't need the user, country, or managed. Books, it's got an ID, a title, a stock, and let's put the author in the same position there. We don't want localized either. We don't want to mess around with any sort of internationalization. For this particular example, we want to keep it as simple as possible. I'm not sure I'm liking the flashing cursor. Let me just go to the enable blinking text, cursor blink. There we go. There we go. Alpha. Yeah, that's fine. That's better. Yeah. Okay, fine. Go away. Okay. So for the authors, we've got ID as integer, and we've got name as string. We've got the books associated to many books on books.author equals $self, which is, yeah, a classic canonical starting example. Key, ID, title, stock, author. That's it. And then we don't want any of that. So let's save that. And oh, hi. Oh, Zomok. Okay, you can't. The terminal is fine. Bigger fonts. Thank you, Zomok. Thank you so much for letting me know. That's brilliant. I'll bump up the font there. Hopefully that's better. Thank you so much for the feedback. That's really, really useful. I'll also, just for good measure, I'll bump up the text a little bit more on that as well, just for good measure. Yes, there we go. Okay, so we've got that. Save that. Now, what we've also got to do is add a service definition. Well, we've already got a service definition here, so let's go out of here for a second and go back to the serve cat service. Using my bookshop, yeah, we want my bookshop, but we don't want the common. We don't need the common there anyway, and we want books. We don't want the read only as projection on my books, authors, and now this is where the computed field comes in. What I said in the blog post is that, by the way, Zolmok, thanks for that. Let me know if that is big enough now. What I wanted to do was, or wanted not to have, is to have the number of books property only defined at the service level, not at the data model level. Okay, so that's why only in here, what we're going to put is the list of fields. So the first thing, let's just is we're going to have all the fields in there, but then we're going to have this little bit of a strange incantation, null as number of books, and the type of that is integer. Okay, and what's going on here? So mismatch null. What? Null as number of books, integer. Oh, as select from, of course, yes. There we go. And then we need that number of books, integer, extraneous token, integer, and there. Oh, there and there. Perfect. Thank goodness for the language server protocol and for the heart of the extension that people use in VS Code. Okay, so that is what we need to do there. As select from, as opposed to the simple as projection on. It allows us to specify properties. Yeah, so we've got all the existing properties from authors, and then we've got this new property called number of books. Okay, so let's just follow the blog post anyway, right? So we'll do here CDS. Yeah, that'll do. CDS compile. I was going to change the prompt here to have a new line, but I don't want to mess around with the prompt here. CDS compile, serve, cat service. Oh, yes, that's interesting. To SQL. There we go. So we can see here that we've got this null of as number of books in the catalog service authors, which we've got here. Now, before I go any further, I need to put an alias r equals ranger. I want to rename this to schema.cds, which is the new, in my mind, the new sort of standard of name. And I've never really liked cat service, so I'm going to call it service.cds. And also, of course, if we're going to have an example in the repo, I want it to look exactly or as close to what's in the blog post as possible. So let's rename that. And of course, we're going to have to change that now because the data model is now schema there. Okay, let's make sure that that still works. Cat service to service. Yeah, perfect. Okay, good. So we've done that. I think we can skip just the actually no, we will do that. We will do that. Just to have a look, just to make sure everything is okay. So we can do the CDS compile to EDMX, and we should see there that the catalog service. There we go. Catalog service.authors/number of books has been annotated automatically as a computed property. okay, which is great. So that's what we want. All right, thanks Cap. Was it? Thanks Cap. Perfect. One bigger as well. There we go. So this is what happens now. Of course, because we're defining this at the service layer, we need some service layer implementation with an event. I'm going to call it an event because it is an event. You know, it's a read event on the authors in this case here. But of course, that allows us to start thinking about different events from message buses and so on, which CAP now supports. By the way, I can see some more viewers here, which is great. Let me just go to, let's open up Twitter for a second. Just see if anybody's responded. Notice, by the way, how this tiling window manager is absolutely wonderful. It wasn't your opinion. Oh, that's something I saw this morning. It was quite funny. Okay, no, that's fine. So, where are we? Oh yes. So we want to implement a little bit of logic. Why don't we do that now? Let's go into, well, let's create this serve service.js. So the convention over configuration with CAP allows us to create a file in the same directory as the service definition CDS of the same name, but with JS, and that will be automatically taken as implementation logic. So let's just write this out manually. Module, I don't have any JavaScript goodness in Vim at the moment, or do I? Module.exports. Interesting. Oh, maybe I do. Well, actually, we got a little bit of, no, we haven't at all. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. So, oh, we do. Okay, books. Oh, of course, it's because I think, yeah, I think that the color scheme is node, which is quite plain. So go back to color scheme blue, color scheme dark blue. Yeah, okay, so we do have some syntax. Let's go back to color scheme node. There we go. So we grab, using destructuring, this is an ES6 thing, we grab the books object from the serve.entities map or object. And then what we want to do, again, I'm just looking here, we're going to create a hook on the server after, so this is an after hook, after a read operation on the author's entity. And an after hook is basically a callback, a function that is given two things. It's given the actual authors that are, or the actual objects that have been retrieved, because of course this is after the standard processing for a read, or a query in this case, actually, for a query has been fulfilled. So we receive, first of all, the actual authors that have been retrieved from the persistence layer, and then we get given the request object, so we can do things with that. So now it's time to implement that logic. Let's put this new line here, and because we want to do it, in a nice way, we're going to use map, and basically, let's just write this out, because it's easier to sort of say it as we see it and as we write it. So what we're going to do is iterate over the authors, over the objects that we receive. So let's say there are 3 authors in the back end. Then we're going to get 3 records in an array, okay, which we can map over. And of course, map isn't like a for each. A map produces another array, which is wonderful. So map takes a function, and it's an asynchronous function, and I would normally like to call the parameter to that function X, because I watch a lot of Eric Meyer. But let's just call it what it is, which is going to be an author, a record or an object representing an author. And what we're going to do with that author is, well, first of all, we're going to work out how many publications that author has written, how many publications that author has in terms of books. in the association. So we'll say const publications equals await, because this is asynchronous CDS. What we do is we build this sort of transactional scope based upon the request object, and then we can run that. And all we do is, and this to me is a bit of a domain specific language thing here going on, because we're effectively writing CQL, CDS, or is it core query language, which is one of the DSLs, domain specific languages, within the whole sort of CDS family or CAP family of languages. So we'll say select, and then I'm going to put a space. This is very what's the word? This is a bit of an affectation on the part of the minds, the geniuses behind CAP and CDS. But I quite like it because it sort of allows us to look at this almost as though it's English. Select dot from books. Notice that books there refers to what we've extracted from the entities there before. From books. Hey, the einzige wahre Kobold. Hello there. Ooh, excellent. That's really cool that you joined. Thank you very much for joining, and thanks for saying hello as well. I'm just testing out a new streaming mechanism on my Chrome box here. Who'd have thought you could stream from a Chrome extension? Absolutely amazing. I'm so happy that I can stream from Chrome OS if this works well. And what we're doing is we're just bringing across this computedField example from this blog post into the CAP community repo as an example. So then we have the where clause, and the nice thing is that we can sort of write the conditions as effectively JavaScript objects. So author ID is author, which is this object here that we've got passed into us there. Dot ID. Okay, so we're just saying, okay, how these are all the publications that are linked via the author ID. Okay, in the books entity. Hey, greetings, Ollie the Bear. Hello, amazing. This is really nice. I mean, this is a really random, and you can't see my face because I can't get the camera working. But yeah, this is a lovely random sort of. What time is it? 2:30 on a Friday afternoon. Why not? And I'm just making this up. I wanted to do this anyway, so I thought I might as well do it live. So yeah, there we go. So we've got that, and so we have in that publications there a list of objects where those objects are books by that author, right? And then all we need to do is author dot number of books, and that's that thing. Let's go in here actually. Serve service.cds. That's this thing here, right? That's the number of books. That's that computedField. So author number of books equals publications dot length. Perfect. Again, this is also a bit of an affectation of mine. I'm trying to avoid, because I think it looks more beautiful, I'm trying to avoid using any sort of semicolons. There are edge cases where semicolons are required for separation, but we don't need them. Let's not use them. Okay, so we've got here, that's it. And we'll close that lambda, that anonymous function. And then there's the end of the map. So that should return the authors as they've been passed in, right? So let's have a look at this. We get the authors passed in here. And all we're doing is returning that same list, that same array, but with an extra field in it. Okay, so that's what we're doing. There we go. And now we need to just sort of close off that anonymous function in the serve.after. And I think we're done. Okay, so let's get out of there. If you want to have a look at this later, in fact, let me paste the URL. I should have a little chat window, really, shouldn't I? Here as well. I'll go to Lightstream. It's down here. There's the URL. And also bit.ly capcom is the short URL that will lead you to the SAP Mentors CAP Community repo. Okay, so now what we need to, in fact, can I sort of pop that out somehow. I'm not quite sure. I know you can pop it out from the normal Twitch place, but anyway, let's not go there. So let's do that. So let's. Oh, actually, have we got any data? I don't think we've got any data, have we? Now, did I put this in a repo anywhere? No. So okay. So CDS deploy, CDS run, run. We should now be able to at least, let's open this up here. Let's actually, yeah, let's have another window over here. Now, because I'm on Chrome OS and the Linux, of course, Chrome OS behind the scenes is Linux as well, but sort of user space Linux is provided by this thing called Crostini, or codename Crostini. So if you look on Reddit, there is, for example, a huge community related to that. There's also Crouton, which is a different way of running. What's going on? Which is a different way of running Linux directly on your Chrome OS device. But anyway. This is Crostini, which gives you a Linux container, a VM, effectively. There's all sorts of amazing management things you can do. But it also does mean at the moment, because it's still early days, at the moment, localhost means this Chrome OS device. It doesn't mean the Linux container. However, in more recent versions of Chrome OS, for example, the one I've got, and this is nothing special, penguin.linux.test will refer to, let me make that bigger, will refer to the IP address, effectively, the machine, the host, that is the default, well, not the default Linux container, the Linux container that's called Penguin. The default container is called Penguin. You can have multiple containers, but that's the story of another time. So the einzige Ware Kobold. What kind of Chromebooks do you own? I own an Asus Chromebox. I think it's a C3. It's there's a Asus Chromebox C3. Is that the one? There's an older Chromebox, but this is the one. It's not very helpful, is it? This is the one with, it's an i5 processor, Chromebox C3 i5 8 gig, and it's got 8 gig of RAM. Oh, this is the one. This is the one. It's a N051U Core i5 8 gig RAM. It's really small. That's about the size of my hand, and yeah, it's really, really nice. So I would definitely recommend it. I've also got a Pixelbook. I've also got a Chrome Bit and a very old Chromebook as well. But anyway, yeah, Chrome OS, awesome operating system. So there we go. We've got deploy and run, but in here, there's no data, right? There's no data at all, and there's no data in authors either because we've got no CSV. So what did I do? I don't know where I created this, and it certainly wasn't on this machine. I guess we'll just create some basic things here. Is there anywhere in my examples, deep insert, some CSV that I can? No, there isn't. We've got any CSV files anywhere? Find name star dot. Is there any CSV files? Oh, there we go. That looks divers and equipment. That looks like Folker. Yeah. Okay. So we got some CSV files there. I'm not sure actually. No, we can't really use those. But what we'll do is. I know where there's some CSV we can just copy paste. It's in the tutorials that we have for the app space in my CAP and Cloud SDK mission. CSV basic CAP service. There we go. It's in here, I think. There we go. Perfect. That'll do. That'll do for authors, ID, and books. There we go. So why don't we do that? So make dir db csv and cat into db csv my bookshop books.csv. I'm going to paste in that. We've got the ID title. I think that should be all right. I can't even remember what we got. Anyway, we'll have a look in a second. And in a similar way, we'll create the authors. Yeah. Let's go in again, DB or schema. I've got, and then also CSV, DB CSV, my bookshop books. We've got ID, title, author ID, and stock. That'll do. And DB CSV books. Oh, those are the books. Authors. We want authors, don't we? Yes. Authors. We've got ID and name. Yeah, that's it. That's fine. That should be fine, actually. So why don't we do a CDS deploy again to see what happens. Ooh, okay, that worked. Now, if we CDS run and go down to here and refresh, let's go to authors. Oh, there we go. Oh, sorry, I went back. That's the wrong place. By the way, I'm also using, for keyboard shortcuts, I'm also using Vimium. So I can do these amazing navigations here. So there we go. Oh, gosh, it works already. Number of books, 2. Yes, because if we go back here, let's go back to there. Let's go to DB CSV. Ooh, what's going on? CSV, my bookshop books.csv. Somebody give me another title from Douglas Adams. 428. Oh, here we go. How about the restaurant at the end of the universe? Also, author ID 42, of course, and we got 10 in stock. Okay, that'll do. So now, if we deploy CDS run, go back down here. Oops, we don't want that, do we? We don't want that. We want to go back down here. Refresh that. We now got number of books 3. In fact, we should see expand equals books. There we go. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. Perfect. So that more or less is the computed field example, right? On which depth is deep insert possible? Oh, that's a really good question. I've seen examples of multiple depths. I don't know what the answer is. I don't know whether it's well, philosophically, has it got to stop? Turtles all the way down, but I have seen internally within SAP some examples of where you're inserting children with their own children, and so on. I don't know what I don't know the specific answer, but I know you can do multiple there, so it's not just one level. Okay, so I think that's really all we wanted to do there. That seems to work, doesn't it? So let's get rid of that and rid of that. Fine. Now, the computed field example, we've got pretty much everything. Git status. Yeah, we got this whole folder. Have we got a vi git ignore? We've got a git ignore, and that should, yeah, it should exclude the node modules. Okay, fine, good. But what we've also got examples is a readme file, which what I want to do is let's have something similar to this. So let's do that now. This might be a little bit less interesting, you watching me type this readme. Oh, you tried depth 5 and it worked. Excellent. Excellent. Well, if you want to add that example or another example, deep insert, you could call it maybe very deep insert. then add it to the CAP community. That would be awesome. It'd be really nice to see that, and other people to see that as well. That's cool. So what I will do now then is I'll copy the README from the deep insert to the computed field example. Example computed field using a using JS implementation logic for to compute the value of a field at the service level. C what's it called? Computed. Oh yeah. C the blog post computed field lowercase field example in CAP for more information. So try it out. First, get the service up and running. Yeah, that should be. See the examples. Computed field. Oh, that's interesting. Running memory. Shall we try running memory? Let's quit out of that. Computed field. We've got this computed field DB, so let's just remove it. What was the yes, minus in memory. Okay, let's try that. Yeah. I'm not going to change that now. No, I'm just really annoyed that this is really, really far on the right-hand side. I should want a new line here. There. Let's just have a look. Now, do I need to escape the escape? I suppose I do. New line. Let's just try that. Yes. Okay. Perfect. So let's go out of here and bring that in again. Oh, terminal. Okay. No, I didn't need that extra thing there, did I? There's a backslash now, so let's just edit it out. PS1, there it is. Where is it? There. Oh, strange. No. What's going on? What am I doing wrong here? I want to add that back in. Wait. No, we've got here, I'm escaping. No. Okay. I need to escape the, I've no idea. But that's not working, is it? Yes, the in-memory does really speed up memory. PS1, I'm going to stop hacking around with this now. That'll do. I don't know where that slash is coming from, but that's fine. Okay, so now local project, start on GitHub, CAP community. Okay, fine. So where are we? Examples, compute. Oh, that's right. Yes, computed field. Okay, so computed field, and what we want to do is have instructions similar to this, right? Get to the right place, and then say, well, actually, let's rm -rf node modules, bang, and then say npm install and cds run in memory. Let's see what happens. I should really commit this stuff, shouldn't I, before I do anything else? Right, okay, that seems to work. So let's open up a new browser again, Penguin test. Authors, yeah, that works. Okay, perfect. So That's fine. So what do we say here? Install dependencies. We have that same line here. And why don't we say here, because we want to encourage people to use curl, we want to be silent and localhost. This is localhost because it really is localhost on this VM. 4004 catalog authors. What? Connection refused. What? Oh, is it? What? Oh, what a fool. What a fool, of course. I'm not running it. So let me just start up another terminal. Term. And what happened there? Another terminal. Oh, I know. Yes, because I need a shortcut for this new window. There we go. Let's get rid of that and say, there we go. That'll do. So we'll have the npm install. Oh, okay. We don't need the npm install again. Let's just get that ready. See, the silence is only when we know it's working. Localhost 4004 catalog authors. Okay, that's nice. So now, we don't need to be silent anyway, do we? And then, I don't think I've got JQ. Yes, okay, sudo apt-get install JQ. So have I got, yeah, there we go. We're talking about JQ here as well. So why don't we do that? Okay, perfect. So that is what we want. There we go. Perfect. So Readme, get the service up and running, install. Now retrieve the authors, entity set, and profit from the computed field. We can probably use JQ. Now we've got a link to JQ somewhere, haven't we? Yes, there we go. So let's do that. Let's go down here. Now retrieve the probably then computedField. Delete. Where's JQ? Yes, delete to the thing there. Delete to the thing. There we go. Use JQ. Using JQ to make the output more readable. We're close. No, it's almost the same. So catalog authors. That's all we did, isn't it? And then pipe it into JQ. This will produce something like this. So now, I think, have we got Xclip installed? Yes, I have. So I can say here, pipe it into Xclip. I think, is that how you do it? Oh, no. Oh, well. Let's put that across. Oops. Let's put that across here for a second. There. Wow, that was a bit weird. Sorry, my brain's suddenly gone funny. JQ. Oh, okay, no, of course, I've got to make sure it's running. There we go, run in memory. Perfect. And now I should do it. Yeah, that's it. That's all we want. So we'll have that. Paste that in. And let's move that across. What do we want to do? I thought I had some shortcuts. Let's just get rid of this one. Something like this. There we go. 21. There we go. I think that's it. Yeah. So is that all we want? Which includes values for the number of books property in each case. Ah, yes. Okay, good. So git add this thing. Oops. Very nice. Oh, we don't want that, do we? VS Code. We'll keep the. Did we keep the git ignoring the previous example? Deep insert. Oh, this deep insert. Yeah, we did. Okay, that's fine then. Readme, package JSON, schema, CDS service. That's it. Okay. Git commit. Add computed field example. Now, I think. Oh, tell you what. Yeah, that should do it. Quit fixes. No, let's just do that. Okay. Git push. And this is going to push to, I want to push to the origin, which is my repo. So now if I go to, where are we? Not that, not that, not that, but that. Oops. This branch is one commit ahead of SAP Mentor's master. Add computedField example. Pull request. There we go. So now I've pushed that directory to my fork of CAP Community, and GitHub has recognized the fact that it's a fork, and it's likely that I'm going to want to push those or offer those changes to the upstream. So now it's saying, yeah, okay, create this pull request. So the base repository is SAP Mentor's CAP, and I want to bring in that from mine, from QMacro CAP Community, into there. Notice the arrow, able to merge. These branches can be merged. Basically, it's a complete new directory. So, ooh, look at that. Yes, amazing. Oh, hold on. What? computedField. I thought I'd remove that. What? I'll remove it in a bit. What? Oh. Okay, yes, fine. Let's push that as well. Okay, now theoretically, what's going to happen if I refresh that now? There we go. So I'd removed it after, I think after committing. So I've just added a second commit. As you can see here, there's the first commit, there's the second commit. So it's all new, all new, all new, all new. And so let's create a pull request. Provide computedField example. And in GitHub, the really nice thing is that if we have a look at the issues here, this is issue number 11. I think if we say fixes 11, once that once this pull request gets merged, reviewed and merged, let's add Volker as a reviewer, then that issue will automatically be closed, and the pull request that we've just created will be referred to, will be referenced. Okay, I guess that's probably it. This is the first test of this, what's it called again? Lightstream streaming, which is seems to be okay, actually. Yeah, let's make that. That of course, yes. My brain is still working on Amethyst tiling window manager, which is on my Mac OS machine. But I wanted to make things, I wanted to move this across to there. But actually, that's Alt Shift S to say I want to make that one. So if I go back down here and make that one there, okay, fine. So thank you very much for taking part on this test. I really appreciate you being here, and have a wonderful weekend. I'm going to end this stream now, and yeah, see what happens. Okay, bye, folks. Thanks.